Hi, I'm Olivia, and we're going to be talking about dead zones today, and this is my audience. By the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, there are over 400 dead zones around the world, and 200 in the United States. One of the largest dead zones is in the Gulf, spanning over 8,000 miles, about the size of Connecticut, said Brian Palmer, journalist of On Earth. The red part here is where there's almost zero dissolved oxygen. So there's absolutely no life coral, and no fish. And then as you span out into the open ocean, it gets mixed with more nutrients and there's more available oxygen. Now when you think of a coral reef, you think of something like this. Beautiful color, live fish, it's obviously a very sustainable place to live. But a dead zone is quite the opposite. It's more something like this. Now, a dead zone is a hypoxia area, reduced level of oxygen. It suffocates the plants and causes mobile animals like fish to leave. What causes this? One of the main things is agricultural runoff in the United States and Europe. In the spring is usually when there's the biggest bloom of dead zones, or they get bigger, because farmers start to fertilize their lands to yield crops, and it's also the rainiest season of the year. Rain washes excess fertilizer into the interior waterways like the Mississippi River, which then empty into the ocean. There's nitrogen and phosphorus in the fertilizers that the farmers use, which then, once they're emptied into the ocean, they feed plankton, which then causes a phytoplanktonic surge, which then causes a bloom in bacteria, which then feed off the plankton, which leaves no dissolved oxygen for any plant or animal to survive in. One of the second things is fossil fuels. Burning things like gasoline and diesel creates a smog, which creates nitrogen and oxide in the air. This clears when it rains and then releases the nitrogen into the ocean. One of the third things, mostly seen in Africa and South America, around undeveloped cities which don't have progressive sewer systems, is sewage. In the 19th century, London built a sewer system to divert from their new flushing toilets into the Thames River. This influx of nutrients caused a bloom of bacteria, which then took away all the oxygen. So what are some of the consequences other than just taking away a beautiful coral reef or making fish move? $82 million is lost annually every year in tourism and fishing, said Brian Palmer, a journalist for On Earth. That equates to more than 212,000 metric tons of food lost in the Gulf of Mexico, reported marine biologist Robert Diaz to Scientific America. So what are we doing, or what can we do to help fix this, or at least make it better? Electric cars or hydrogen cars can be one of the fixes to the fossil fuels, but obviously we're not there in the making of those yet. They're just now becoming available. So what can we do to help the agricultural runoff? Electric and hydrogen cars can help solve the fossil fuel problem, but our biggest worry right now is the agricultural runoff. Nature Conservancy stated that it starts at the top. So if states like Indiana and Nebraska start using more environmentally friendly fertilization techniques, they can also use native plants to help soak up the nitrogen before it reaches the river. Another thing they can use is soil kits to help determine exactly how much fertilizer they need in their fields. There are also new biotechnologies, such as the Nitrogen Use Efficiency (NUE) improvements by Arcadia Biosciences. They have engineered crops to overexpress a gene that allows roots to absorb more nitrogen. It is possible for NUE crops to produce the same yield with half as much fertilizer, said President and CEO Eric Ray of Arcadia Biosciences to Scientific America. Dead zones are a serious problem. Anything we can do to help them and the environment around us is always a necessity. So reduce, reuse, recycle, and help clean up our planet.